Hello and welcome back to Not Just Buildings. Now, you might be wondering, do I have the right podcast? What on earth is Not Just Buildings? Well, listener, I'm pleased to tell you that we have renamed Chamber Vibes to something that more accurately reflects the purpose of this podcast, which is to tell the stories of businesses, nonprofits, and institutions in the area of Bedford, Virginia, which we do by talking to the real local people working behind the scenes. Plus, the new name is pretty catchy, and it's inspired by longtime chamber and board member Bill Moss, who always says that businesses aren't just buildings, they're people. Thank you, Bill, for your years of service to our chamber and business community. We appreciate you. Anyway, thanks so much for sticking with us as we grow, and if you're new to the podcast, we're glad to have you join us as we kick off 2026. Now, for our official introduction, welcome to Not Just Buildings, where we interview the local people behind businesses, nonprofits, and institutions in the area of Bedford, Virginia. My name is Foster Garrett, and I am the Director of Marketing and Events for the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce, which is a membership organization whose mission is to serve as a catalyst for local business success, a convener of regional leadership, and a champion for a vibrant and resilient economy. However, before we get to the interview, I would like to highlight some of our upcoming programming and events. We offer a little bit of everything for everyone, so I encourage you to stick around to learn more about what's next. But if you want to just jump straight to today's interview, no worries. You can find all of our programming on bedfordareachamber.com, and I'll drop our phone number at the end of this episode, so make sure to listen all the way through. We had a fantastic time at last week's Smart Networking event, which was all about marketing. If you have not been listening, you really missed out on this one. I don't always like to rub it in that you should have FOMO, but this was an awesome event. We had such an amazing conversation. It was just 2 hours of everybody collaborating with each other, sharing their experience, and just offering tips and tricks for everybody's challenges that they're facing with their marketing, or some things that they've been trying to do or have been considering doing. It was so awesome. I have so many notes from that conversation, and we were joined by volunteers from nonprofits, people with large businesses, small business owners, some of our government and school partners. There was just such a really cool mix of people in the room, and everybody had something to contribute to the overall conversation. I'm really appreciative of everybody taking the time to come out and be a part of it, but also for your honesty and for just being willing to collaborate with everybody to help each other grow. Our panelists were fantastic. We really do appreciate everybody that came together for Smart Networking, because that's really what it's all about, is coming together as a business community to grow and help each other further your success. So yeah, it was awesome, and I'm excited to do it again. We'll definitely have to do another marketing topic. But next up on the schedule, we have a ribbon cutting in June for Bedford Ride. They are celebrating their 25th anniversary, which is awesome. Bedford Ride is a fantastic organization. They are a great resource for the Bedford area. And if you don't know what they do, the ribbon cutting is a great way to learn more, but just a tidbit. They offer non-emergency medical transportation to older adults and people with disabilities. So they do a lot of great stuff in our community. They build a lot of great relationships, and they alleviate the pressure off of our first responders to respond to things that aren't necessarily emergencies. So they do great work. That'll be June 27th at 1:30 p.m. at Falling Creek Park. So come on out. It's a Saturday. It'll be a nice way to get outside and learn a little bit about Bedford Ride. That was the almost rhyme. That was pretty good. But we have other events coming up in July. Another Smart Networking event. This one's all about AI. And we have Mix and Mingle at the ballpark on July 9th. So that'll be a lot of fun. That one is chamber member exclusive, and it's free. We'll be out with the Hill City Howlers. We'll have 2 VIP skyboxes, game day food. It'll be a lot of fun. So if you're interested in that, tickets always go really fast. But you can RSVP on bedfordareachamber.com. That's also where you can find everything I just talked about and more on our calendar. And you're always welcome to reach out to us with questions. The chamber would love to hear from you, whether you're a chamber member, a community member, or just a listener who enjoys our podcast. But that is enough from me this morning. Without further ado, please allow me to introduce today's guest, Noel Woodcock with the Bedford Museum and Genealogical Library.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I am super excited to talk to you this morning. I feel like the Bedford Museum is one of those places where there's just so much information. There's so many things that we could talk about. You guys could have your own podcast to talk about everything. But to just kick us off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and then about the museum?
So my name's Noel Woodcock. I've worked for the museum for 7 years, did my internship there, and I'm currently the museum manager.
That's awesome. And what kind of got you interested in history and the museum?
Well, from a young age, I actually got interested in history. Started the Titanic in World War II. I was one of those kids that watched World War II documentaries. So,
Oh, yeah.
And then I got my degree in history at Liberty University.
Oh, nice. So it's been like a lifelong interest for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And I feel like this is like the perfect fit.
Yeah, it is.
Well, tell us a little bit about the museum.
So the museum was founded in 1933 by the UDC and the DAR. And so we're celebrating our 93rd year this year.
That's awesome. And your building it's beautiful, first of all.
It is.
It is really, really cool. But can you just tell us a little bit about the space? Because I know the building itself is very historically significant.
Yeah, it was built in 1895 in about 9 months.
Oh, wow.
It's 3 floors, Romanesque Revival style. It was built by the Masonic Lodge, the Masons. And then it became the museum's home in 1972.
That's awesome. Whenever I go in the building, I'm just kind of like taken aback by it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a lot of space that's kind of like closed off. So I would love to see like the full space one day. I feel like it's one of those places where it just kind of keeps going and there's interesting nooks and crannies and different experiences to be had in every room.
Yeah, there's the old back entry where the Masons would go up to the 3rd floor.
Oh, really?
For their meetings and stuff like that.
That's cool. Was it kind of like secretive?
Sort of. It's like if you go up to the 2nd floor, there's like this extra wide door.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would go up in like lines of 2 almost.
Oh.
And then go up the back steps to the 3rd floor.
That is really
meetings.
Cool. That's awesome. And you guys have the Genealogical library as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it encompasses 2 rooms on our 1st floor.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a reference library and a research library. So the reference library is more like state books, church histories, Bedford County history as well. And then the research library has marriage records, wills, deeds, census records, and surname binders for local Bedford County surnames.
There's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. How many books do you think you have total?
It's got to be probably over 2,000.
Wow. That's awesome. I feel like that's very interesting for local history to have so many different pieces of it to find in one space.
Yeah, we have a lot of rare books too, which we have to unlock for you to access. But we have some that were donated, like John Good's sort of recollection of his life and stuff like that.
That's really cool. Are these often things that people just discover when they're like cleaning out other people's houses, or
either discover in like attics or something from family members, or something just passed down their family history they can no longer use?
Oh, that's cool.
They'll donate to us.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have, when I was home with my parents during 2020, I went through, well, I was bored, obviously, but I went through their spare bedroom and there's this huge chest in there. And I was like, I've always seen this, but I've never opened it. So I opened it and it smelled immediately like my great-grandmother's house. And it turned out to be her chest. And in it, I found different family albums that she'd put together, the family Bible with birth dates and death dates, handwritten letters from her husband and my grandfather.
Very cool.
Yeah, and it was really, really interesting because I never really got to know them, like any of those people that are so significant to my family history. And it just gave me this opportunity to learn more about my family and where we're from and just the roots of it all, and seeing all these faces and seeing my face in theirs. And there's a lot of interesting books. There's a penny collection, which is really cool. There's just like a lot of different things in there. And I think it just kind of opened me up to feel more connected to my dad's family. And I asked him, after I've been spending literally hours, I still haven't gone through everything. Been spending hours going through this stuff. I was like, why have you never showed us this? And he was like, honestly, when my grandma passed, I was so sad. I put it in there and never opened it again.
Oh.
And I was like, that is exactly how people find really cool stuff. Like when people pass away or when people move or whatever, you're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea this even existed. I feel like a lot of people use the genealogical library to do that, to expand on their family history.
Yeah, that got me into history too, because I have a similar trunk in my family.
Oh, really?
It was my great-grandparents' trunk from the 1920s.
Oh, wow.
That my grandma had in her spare bedroom growing up, and then now it's my mom's.
Yeah, that's like exactly the same as me. That's really cool. And I think it's cool that people collect these things so that you can have a better, like the future generations can have a better understanding of where they've come from. Do a lot of people from Bedford utilize the genealogical library? Do a lot of people from out of town do it? Is it even mix?
There's a mixture. We have a lot of out-of-town people that discovered they have like descendants or ancestors from the Bedford County area they didn't know about. So they'll come and spend a couple days just researching their discovered family. And then we have some Bedford people too that will come in and research, but some Bedford people actually don't know we exist, so sometimes they don't come in, but
hopefully this will give them a way to find out.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, what does it typically cost to use the genealogical library?
So it's actually free besides copies you make of our resources. We only charge the $5 admission if you go upstairs.
Gotcha. That's very, very affordable. People should absolutely be utilizing it. That's awesome. Have the museum and the library always existed together in the 93 years?
So it started as a museum in the basement of the courthouse.
Okay.
And it was just one room. So we've expanded over the years. So they gradually sort of added to the library based on the donations they received.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
we didn't really have much of a library when it first started.
Yeah.
It was just one room with some artifacts in it in the courthouse.
That's cool. When did it move to the Masonic Lodge building?
I think it was 1972 or 3.
Oh, wow. So it's still a very, very long time. That's really cool. And what are the things that you have on display?
So we have the first floor is our library. We do have some stuff displayed like above our bookcases. The second floor has our Native American exhibits. And then we have our 250th exhibit that's coming up. And then we have our Company A room for the Bedford boys, our World War I and World War II room. And then we have the Black History room. And then the third floor is our War Between the States Museum.
Wow. Tell me about the 250th anniversary display.
So it's on our second floor hallway. We have 4 display cases sort of broke down between the different centuries and from 1776 to 2026.
Wow.
So each display case sort of breaks down and we have artifacts from those time frames.
That's a lot. That's a lot to cover.
It is.
What are some of the cool things that you think people might be interested in when they come by?
In the 250th exhibit, we have a land grant from Illinois that was in the belongings of an Elks member from the Elks home. And it's actually signed by James Monroe.
Oh, wow.
And it was land given to the gentleman after the War of 1812.
That is really cool. And it was just here in Bedford.
Yeah, and we have a Bible from, I think her name's Serena Redmond, and she was a daughter of a Revolutionary War soldier.
I'm sure that's really interesting. Do you really enjoy going through all these things?
I do.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Especially transcribing some of the old letters and stuff. You get to sort of discover a lot of Bedford County history through those too. Yeah.
I really enjoy some of the Facebook posts that you make with just different information and pictures, and you kind of tell the stories of certain things, put different artifacts together to kind of show overall what's been happening. And especially with certain people, there was a post a couple weeks ago with 2 individuals, a man and a woman, who were on like a tandem bicycle at the Elks home. And and just like talking about how their different personalities and how they fit into the community. Because I think it's really interesting. There's always like kind of like Bedford stars, like people that just like stand out among generations.
Yeah, I enjoy doing the newsletter and the post too, Because it's for like a puzzle,
Yeah.
puzzling their story together,
That is really cool.
taking a picture, a newspaper, a letter,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of discovering the story of them behind those artifacts and documents.
Yeah. What is your newsletter like?
It's a 32-page newsletter that goes out to our members. So I gradually work on it from throughout the year. It's released in May and November, so I'll just sort of, any kind of artifact I find that's interesting or like a story. Sometimes I find the stories through donations that come in, through calls that come in to us for research, anything like that. I'll just put them aside and then sort of type in the stories as I go.
That is really cool. 32 pages.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure people really, really enjoy taking the time to review that too.
Yeah, the first 10 are like museum happenings, what's going on at the museum. And then from page 10 to 32 is just all Bedford County stories.
That is so cool. And you mentioned that you have members. Do you want to talk a little bit about membership?
Yeah, our membership levels are, I believe, $60 for the base membership, then $120, then it jumps up to $500. But each tier sort of gives you more benefits. So the base level, you get the newsletter twice a year. And then the second membership, you get a gift shop discount. Third membership, you get newsletter recognition and plaque recognition in the library.
That's awesome. And you guys are a nonprofit organization too.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that goes a long way to supporting what you do.
Yeah, it does.
And I think it's so cool that we have, a local historical resource like the Bedford Museum. Do most areas have something like this?
They have something similar, but our library is the most extensive in the area.
Really?
Yeah.
That is really awesome. What do you think the impact of that is?
I think it's an excellent resource for anybody coming out of town or in Bedford. We have a lot of stuff that, since I've worked there 7 years, that people come in and they discover something about their family they didn't know existed. So that's always cool to help them find out.
Yeah, I'm sure it's cool to be a part of that process too. And just helping people connect the dots and seeing what comes of it.
It is, yeah.
Finding the secrets. That's awesome. And if people are interested in coming by, you guys have an amazing summer series coming up. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we have summer speaking series. This is the second year we've been doing it. It usually consists of 6 speakers from different backgrounds. So we try to highlight different topics that will sort of appeal to everybody. So we've already had 2 speakers come. James Siddons, who wrote Historical Tales of Bedford County, and then Philip Gibbs, who wrote a book on early Roanoke history. So the next one we have is Jean Hurley. She's actually a direct descendant of Richard Calloway, who was from Bedford, was a trustee of New London, and then he ended up moving to Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
And so she's going to come and talk about her new book, which is Richard Calloway, The Forgotten Hero. And she's going to do a book signing afterwards on June 13th from 1 to 3. And each one of these presentations fall on a Saturday.
Perfect.
So we have Trish Sorelli from the Cloverleaf Foundation coming July 18th from 1 to 3. And she's going to talk about the Cloverleaf History Project as well. And then August 8th, we have Karen Roulette. And she works at the Bedford County Courthouse in the Circuit Court Clerk's office. So she's been working there 27 years. So she's going to talk about how their resources there help you with genealogical research. And then August 18th from 1 to 3, we have John Messier, who's the president and CEO of Southern Flavoring. He's coming to talk about the company's 100th anniversary.
That is amazing. That's a great roster of people.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's really interesting too, I like that they're all local people and that they're talking about, obviously local things because the museum is all about Bedford. But when I saw the list, I was like, oh my gosh, I know these people and I know what they do through the chamber, which is so cool. And I think it'll be interesting if people are able to come out for Trish's and John's, seeing how Cloverleaf and Clayton Nature Center are tied to Southern Flavoring. And because it's all kind of It's kind of circular because of Boyd Glader. But that's really
that's
cool.
a beautiful place out there.
It is. It is. I mean, the museum is a hidden gem. Glader Nature Center is a hidden gem as well.
And their view of the mountains is probably the best in the county that I've seen.
It is. It is. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the Cloverleaf Farmhouse is really interesting too. If people haven't been out there, it's a beautiful farmhouse, but different parts of it have been added on at different times. And you can kind of see the interesting makeup of the house, and the gardens are beautiful, and there's the reflecting pool.
Yeah, I went to the History on the Holidays that church put on this past year, and she gave us a tour of the house afterwards.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love the pink bedroom too.
Yeah.
There's a really cool, I think it was screened in at one point, but it's like a glass viewing room.
Oh, yeah.
In the dome. That one is super cool, and just seeing the view and the trees. And Glader Nature Center's got 100 acres or something crazy. I need to get them to come on the podcast so that we can tell their story too. But super cool place, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna have to come out for the speaking series. Are you excited for anything in particular with all the speakers?
I mean, Karen Willette, she's always been very helpful to me with all the research requests we have come in. And I go over there to the courthouse and do research in their records as well. So I'm looking forward to possibly discovering some records they have that I don't know about.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of my favorite things with our smart networking series is oftentimes I come in and I think I know, a good decent bit of what we're going to be talking about, but I always leave and I'm like, wow, I have so many new things that I can not only tell other people to help them, but to help my organization, help myself. And it's always so satisfying to just learn from other experts who are interested in the same things that you're working towards.
Yeah.
So if people are interested in coming by, what can they expect?
So we're open Monday through Friday from 10 to 5. Anybody can come in. Even we have large groups come in. We just tell them to call ahead of time just to give us a warning. And we offer tours too if they call ahead.
Oh, that's awesome.
Admission's $5 for adults. Kids are free. We have 3 floors they can look at and a gift shop as well.
Come check it out. You can find some awesome gifts here too.
Yeah.
Well, Noel, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been awesome.
Oh, you're welcome.
Is there anything else you want to add before we hop off?
We have our 93rd celebration this Friday. So
that's exciting.
The chair of our board, Leslie Mahaffey, she's going to have a cake brought in and you can come by and celebrate with us.
Absolutely. So many different reasons to go by and check out the museum. If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do so?
You can email me at bmgldirector@bedfordvamuseum.org, or you can call our main line. It's 540-586-4520.
Perfect. Well, Noel, thank you so much for joining me today. This was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. You're listening to Not Just Buildings, hosted by the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce and produced by Media Squatch. There are so many great people working together to make the Bedford area a great place to live, work, and do business, and we hope that by telling their stories, our listeners are able to become more connected to our community. After all, there are so many hidden gems, services, resources, and amazing opportunities just waiting to be seized right here in the area of Bedford, Virginia. If you like this interview, I have great news for you. New episodes come out every week, and we have lots of episodes for you to catch up on in the meantime. Episodes are available on Media Squatch Plus, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, our weekly newsletter, Facebook and website, and anywhere else you can find podcasts. If you want to learn more about us at the Chamber, we encourage you to check out our website, bedfordareachamber.com, or give us a call at 540-586-9401. Thanks so much for listening, and keep an ear out for the next episode of Not Just Buildings.